Hey, this is Erich Hunter here, and I want to talk about my new course, Planetary Healing with Pendulums, to give you an idea of what it's about and how you can start doing planetary healing with your pendulum. So what I'm going to do is show you a PowerPoint that I've made, and this will help to illustrate the concepts. So planetary healing sounds like a really, daunting thing, healing the whole planet. But I think that we can make a significant difference with healing the planet in a lot of levels. And I want to explain why I think this is possible. So the first thing to realize is that the Earth is a living being. There was a famous scientist called Lovelock who came up with this Gaia hypothesis. And even though many scientists try to debunk it because it's too new agey, it seems like, there is a lot of scientific evidence that the Earth is alive and that it is like an organism. The Earth had a birth when the solar system was formed. It's going through a life right now. It's having its lifetime, and eventually it's going to die. So it has a life, so to speak. All right, now there is a very interesting correlation that can be made between the Earth and the energy healing system that we're all familiar with. And that is that the Earth has layers, and these layers correspond very nicely to the chakra system. Now, I go into this in some detail in the course, but I'll just give you an outline here really briefly. So the very center of the Earth, the core of the Earth, is the Earth star chakra. And the very outermost layer of the Earth is the crown chakra, or the atmosphere. So you have the Earth, it's surrounded by an atmosphere. That's the crown chakra, because that's the chakra that's in connection to the heavens, to the divine. It's the bridge between the world and the cosmos, the crown chakra. And then at the very center, you have the core. So what are the other layers? So the innermost layers, like the layer right above the Earth star would be the root chakra. That's molten. It's the core of the Earth. It's hot. Then you have the sacral chakra, which is that layer above the core. It's molten, so it's not solid. And this is what energizes the movement of the Earth's crust. And these inner chakras are where like volcanoes come from. There's a lot of energy down there. Just like in our lower chakras, we have a lot of energy that comes up to move the higher chakras. So for example, the continents have been moving for millions of years in this process called plate tectonics. And that's being driven by these lower levels of the Earth's core, these deeper levels of the Earth's core. And these correspond to the lower chakras that are energy drivers for the whole system. Okay, then I'm going to skip the solar plexus and go right to the heart chakra. So the heart chakra is the land. It's the earth, the soil, the rocks, the mountains. It's the crust of the earth. It makes both the continents and the ocean floor. Then the throat chakra is the water. And then the third eye chakra is life. And then the crown chakra is the atmosphere. So why is the throat chakra water? Is because everything on the earth is influenced by water. Like for example, life came from water. The mountains and the soil is eroded by the water. So everything is an expression of the water, and the throat chakra is how a being expresses themselves. So the expression of the earth is the water, and it's the throat chakra. Now, life represents the third eye. So all the animals, plants, microorganisms, all the living things. And why is that? Well, it's because those living things are conscious beings. They're like, it's not the physical earth. It's the bridge between the earth and the consciousness beyond. So it's a divine sort of intermediary there. If you look at the tree of life of the Kabbalah, the result of all the Sephirot is from the divine emanation, you end up with the earth, Valkut, or life. And so we have living things. So like human beings, we are conscious, and there are certain animals that are conscious, higher, especially like self-aware. And we are literally like the third eye of the earth. We are the psychic, clairvoyant. We are able to see the mystical, the beyond, more than just like a rock. Like a rock is conscious, but it doesn't have the same level of consciousness as a living being does. And I go into that more in the course. Okay, so with planetary healing, what you're doing essentially is you're working on healing the chakra system of the earth. And I want to give you an example with a really serious issue called fracking. And so fracking is this horrible thing that's being done by these corporations to get gas out of the ground. Rather than using solar power or using other things, they do this fracking. And there's a picture here showing it. So like what goes on is basically they drill into the earth and then they pump, I believe it's like they pump it with water or something really high pressure. And then what happens is it causes the gas to come out. They can collect it. Okay, and then they have to put all these really toxic chemicals into the ground in order to make this happen. So what ends up happening is that it poisons the aquifer, and it puts unnatural pressure on the earth's crust so that there are earthquakes in places that have never had earthquakes before, and people's groundwater is poisoned. And then the burning of this fossil fuel contributes to the global warming problem. All right, so what chakras are involved with this? Well, the earth that is drilled into these toxic substances are pumped into the earth in order to get the gas out. That's the heart chakra of the earth. So fracking is like stabbing the heart of the earth and putting poison into it. Then the water is getting polluted. So that's the throat chakra that's getting damaged of the earth. Then the living things that depend on the water and that also are impacted, like if the water supply is poisoned, then the life on the land is going to be impacted. And then all the damage they cause when they make the fracking well on the surface, they have to cut all the trees down and all that stuff. And then the burning of the fossil fuels causes global warming and also just regular like toxic pollution. So, you know, the third eye chakra, or the life on the earth, is getting damaged from this. And then the atmosphere is getting damaged from the burning of the fossil fuels, causing global warming and other forms of pollution. So with this one example here of fracking, there are 4 different chakras of the earth that are being really harmed, both at a local level and a global level. So if you're going to do a healing on the planet, or just even on your local environment, you have to identify what chakras are being affected. You have to do healings on those chakras. Then you also have to do healing on the damage being caused using your pendulum, like making up commands like, you know, neutralize the trauma from the fracking. There are a whole bunch of commands you can come up with based on that, just using regular pendulum healing. And then you also have to do pendulum work on raising the consciousness of the people who are involved with these activities, especially like the politicians and corporations who know that this practice is dangerous, that it is causing pollution and all sorts of environmental problems, that's not sustainable, but they're doing it anyway because they're functioning from their lower chakras. See, that's the thing about planetary healing, is that in many cases, the reason why planetary damage is happening to the environment is because people are not utilizing their upper chakras. They're not using their higher consciousness. They're not feeling it with their heart. They're not, you know, using their brains. You know, these upper chakras, they're functioning from the lower chakras, the root chakra, the solar plexus, sacral, these lower chakras that are greedy, want money, don't want to think, they don't want to change, they just want to do everything the way they've been doing it. They, you know, so it takes higher consciousness to say, hey, maybe this isn't the best idea, even if we can make a lot of money, maybe we need to come up with an alternative way to get energy and power. And, you know, so we want to heal these people who are involved in these activities, and also raise the consciousness of people generally, so that people start thinking about, well, how can we maintain this awesome lifestyle that we currently have without doing so much damage to the environment? Are there more sustainable ways that we can do this? So environmental healing, planetary healing with your pendulum is a really cool thing. And you combine this with nature spirit healing. I teach you how to do the nature spirits, because obviously if there's a fracking well here, It's caused all kinds of havoc with the nature spirits in that area. And then also, you want to do this healing when you're working on geopathic stress. So if you have a home in a fracking area, man, it's going to cause all kinds of geopathic stress, which is going to affect your health and well-being. And while like the information I teach on the geopathic stress course will definitely help to remediate problems caused by fracking around your home or in your neighborhood, adding this planetary healing in is another layer of healing that will make the healing even more effective. So you can get a very cohesive, awesome, very thorough healing where you heal your nature spirits, your geopathic stress, and the planetary aspect of it. And you pull it all together to make a really powerful healing. And like I said, you can do this both locally, like, you know, there are trees getting cut down in your neighborhood, or you could do it like globally, like you could do a healing for the entire atmosphere of the earth around global warming, or for the rainforests, or for the ocean, whatever you're concerned about. And the more people who do this work, the more likely it is that it's going to reach a tipping point and cause change, because pendulum healing is about increasing the probability of something happening. And so if you do pendulum healing, you make it more likely. The more of us who are doing it, the more likely it will be. And that's why I've made this course very low cost. It's very inexpensive course. And I would highly recommend, if you have any concern about the environment, or even if it's just self-interest like my own local environment, please take this course because it will help. And the more of us who are doing this work, the more it's going to help. So anyway, I hope this was useful for you and it gave you some new ideas and some new ways to think about the planet. And you can do this both locally and globally. So, you know, think global, act local. You can definitely do that, but you can also act global with this method. And yeah, check out my course if you want to learn more. It's on my website. I have a link below. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.